Hey everyone, it's Narwin, and I want to talk to you guys today about finding Pokemon that outclass the Pokemon you're using. So recently, there was a user in the Pokemon VGC subreddit that was asking about using Butterfree. They wanted to use Butterfree because it had a specific moveset that they needed. They needed Bug Bite, Tailwind, and Rage Powder. Now, we can talk about whether or not this is a good moveset or not. Personally, I would drop Bug Bite and find a Pokemon that can use Knockoff or a better Bug Bite user like Scizor. But let's say this is the moveset you need. Well, you can search this moveset and find other Pokemon that have access to these moves. In this case, we're going to ignore Smeargle because he doesn't have a similar typing to Butterfree. We're just going to look at Pokemon that have a similar typing. In this case, we're going to look at Butterfree, Venomoth, Volcarona, and Vivillon. You can see that Butterfree has really low defenses and really low speed. This is going to make it really hard for it to set up Tailwinds and to redirect a lot of attacks with Rage Powder. Especially considering it has a lot of weaknesses. It has 5 weaknesses, including Fire, which is very common from Charizard and from Heatran. Electric, which is very common from Tapu Koko. Ice weakness, which is common due to the fact that a lot of Pokemon carry HP Ice or Ice Beam to deal with Landorus. And Rock, which is very frequently seen to help deal with Charizard, and it also has a 4 times weakness to this Rock attack, which makes it really hard to set up Tailwind and then redirect attacks with Rage Powder. You also have the option of Vivillon. Vivillon does have a good moveset and a good niche that it can fill using Compound Eyes and Sleep Powder and Quiver Dance, but for the role it needs to fill in this case, it doesn't fill that role very well. While it's slightly faster than Butterfree, it has lower special defense and lower defense, which means it really doesn't fill this role of a bulky support mon either. Venomoth does slightly better. It's a little bit faster than both of the previous options and has a little bit more defense and special defense. It still has 4 weaknesses, but it loses, at least it's not 4 times weak to Rock, and it loses its electric and ice weakness for a psychic weakness, which in my opinion would be a good trade because psychic is a less commonly seen version of, or less commonly seen attack than electric or ice. But again, it still doesn't really fill this role, and while it does fill this role better, there's another option. In this case, we have Volcarona. So keep in mind that we want to use Tailwind, Rage Powder, and Bug Bite. Bug Bite's there to help keep berries off of Pokemon like Snorlax. Again, I disagree with that move choice, but that's not what this is about. You can see it's faster than the other options, which is going to make it easier to set up the Tailwind. It has better special defense and defense and HP than all 3 of the previous options, and has less weaknesses than the other options. It only has a water, flying, and rock weakness. It keeps its 4 times rock weakness, same as Butterfree. It loses its fire, electric, and ice weakness in exchange for a water weakness, which in my opinion is a good trade. So it fills the role of being able to set up Rage Powder, or set up Tailwind, and then redirect attacks with Rage Powder much better than Butterfree does. Now that's not to say that, so for example, Vivillon fills a niche that Volcarona really can't fill with its Compound Eyes ability. Compound Eye, Sleep Powder, Quiver Dance fills a role that Volcarona can't fill. So in this case, while Volcarona outclasses Vivillon for this particular moveset, it doesn't always outclass it. The other thing you can do is you can check for your type. Let's say you're looking for a good fire flying type. And in this case, we're going to use a special attacker specifically. In VGC 2018, Ho-Oh is banned, so we're just going to look at Charizard, Moltres, and Talonflame. Charizard has a much higher special attack than the other 2 options, Moltres and Talonflame. He's also faster than Moltres is, while slower than Talonflame. Charizard also has a higher special defense than the other options. Moltres does beat out Charizard for the defense and HP, but not by too much. Charizard Y also has a powerful Drought move, and Moltres doesn't have access to that. They have very similar movesets. They both get Heat Wave, They both get Solar Beam. They both have access to a flying stab attack with Air Slash, and I believe Charizard also gets Air Slash as well. So they both get Air Slash. They both get Ancient Power. Moltres learns to level up. Charizard says he doesn't, but he actually does get it from Charmander as an egg move. They both get Roost. They have very similar move sets. They both get Will-O-Wisp if you were looking for a more supporty variation of them. And Charizard is better than Moltres in pretty much every way. So maybe Moltres would be a good option, a powerful option, but it's outclassed by Charizard. Because Charizard is, while Moltres might be good, and I'm not saying that is, this is just for the example, Charizard outclasses it. Outclassing doesn't necessarily mean that the Pokemon you're outclassing is bad, it just means there's a Pokemon that better fills that role. So, and that's how you can check for it. You can just use a moveset searcher, or you can search by type and find the type that you're using, or that you're trying to use. Alright guys, I hope you found this helpful. Thanks for watching.